Alright everyone, we should be live! Let's make sure that's actually the case. Over on Rumble, of course. We will unpause and repause. Apocalypse Wow, Epstein Files vote today. It's going to be very, very interesting, by the way, to see where the lines lay with regards to the Epstein Files vote. Trump has come out and said he wants the Epstein Files released. We're going to see, along party lines especially, is there anyone who is going to vote against it? I have a feeling that some of them will, probably because people associated with them are presumptively mentioned in the Epstein files. So that is major news. We're going to have to get into more of that later, though, I think. I've got quite a docket here. I mean, again, I had so many news articles. It's totally different from like a Sunday. Sunday, you'll get like 3 news articles. Wonderful, you know, you can cover the news. If you're on a normal weekday, as a content creator, you're not going to be able to keep up with it, dude. I mean, not unless you want to work 10 hours a day or something like that. So we're going to do the best that we can with regards to that particular story. If there are any updates later, people, please send me news items about that particular story. I do want to cover it because that is exceptionally important. But I've also got a lot of other things in the docket right now. We've got a cult priestess in here. Hello, my friend. Yes. Trump administration prepares tariff exemptions in bid to lower food costs. This is a good idea, by the way. Anything that can lower food costs at this point is justified. I do believe in using tariffs, but not to the detriment of the population at large. And unfortunately, the economic structure doesn't allow us to do anything else, so you're probably going to have to lower those tariffs, unfortunately. What do mainstream Democrats stand for? Kamala Harris's memoir gives you little idea of what she believes. John Fetterman's is better. Oh, there is such a civil war within the Democratic Party, and I am McLovin' it. Much like Donald Trump and apparently Don Jr. love McDonald's. You have currently a situation in which the left wing of the political auxiliary of the Democratic Party is totally at war with the people like Fetterman and Manchin and stuff like that, Cinema. They're completely at war with them, and they're losing, and it's fucking great to see. I'm having a good time. Human trafficking soars in Blue City as gangs and highways fuel perfect storm of child exploitation. Yes, unfortunately, literally thousands of kids are probably being prostituted in Charlotte. Now, I talked about this morning. If there are at least hundreds, possibly thousands, of children just in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is a relatively small city. So this is, I mean, it's big, but, you know, it's like Boston big. It's not like New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, Detroit, places like that. If thousands of kids are being trafficked in a place like Charlotte, what the hell do you think is happening in other cities around the country? Oh yeah, there's only like 50,000, maybe 100,000 children sex slaves out there. Oh, that's not a big problem, right? We can ignore the situation. The Trump administration has decided not to ignore the situation. They're getting flack for it too. It's funny. People say, "Well, those ICE raids, they're awfully abusive." What the hell else are you supposed to do, dude? It makes absolutely no sense to me, but apparently they found a way. Tucker Carlson claims Patel's FBI doesn't want us to know the truth about right-wing Trump shooter crooks. I'm going to be getting into a deep dive with regards to this. I think that Tucker Carlson is mentally challenged at this point. Some people will disagree with me, but it does not appear that Thomas Crooks was actually on the right wing. Considering the fact that he was trying to blow Trump's head off, you would assume probably, politically speaking, he was on the left wing of politics. And indeed, this is what all of the evidence shows. Tucker Carlson somehow has come to the inexplicable conclusion that instead, no, Thomas Crooks was actually a right-winger. Probably, I guess, further right than Trump, and so considered him a cuck or something like that. That does not actually appear to have happened. Bolivia top court orders release of former interim President Jeanine Áñez. Yes, this is an interesting development from Bolivia, actually. Bolivia has been run by socialists for decades, basically. But now, one of the former presidents who supposedly illicitly took power, even though that was never actually the case, she was jailed. And now they've released her from jail, clearing the way, of course, for her to have a future political career. I think that Bolivia might be going in the same direction as Chile because it looks like their right-wing candidate is probably going to win. So you've got Argentina under the control of Javier Milei, and he's doing a good job. Chile is now lurching to the right. Now you've got fucking Bolivia. Dude, this is almost a little bit of a continental revolution when you think about it. Hell, I mean, look at Venezuela. Any given day, Maduro could get his head blown off by some random partisan. We will see what happens. So yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of news, as you can tell. Based acid fox. Sounds more like CIA Cold War bullshit. No, this I believe is organic, actually. The CIA has been involved in regime change. This I do not believe is regime change. No, not in that same sense. Fuck libertarians. Libertarianism is cool. I mean, not the Libertarian Party, though, because they don't know what the hell they're doing either. They can't get anything straight. It's very, very strange some of the time. So yes, we will go through some news. Fishman, Trump totally screwed the pooch with that Ingram interview. I disagree. I think that he did a fine job. That was really funny. When he's calling somebody piggy, that was pretty fun. Anyways, we'll get to the news. We'll get to the main story first. We'll get to the sponsors. Then we'll get to all of the other things. Trump administration prepares tariff exemptions in bid to lower food prices. If the proposal goes into effect, I have a feeling that it probably will, it would be the latest rollback of one of President Trump's key economic policies over concerns about affordability. This has been something that he's talked about fairly repeatedly. The affordability of food, especially. The idea is that food is simply too expensive. If you go to the grocery store, you probably have experienced this yourself. Eggs are too expensive, oranges are too expensive, beef is really too expensive, etc., etc., etc. You go to the store and there's sticker shock. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You're going to have sticker shock anyway. Because it's like double the price that it used to be. Now, this may be the Biden administration's fault, and it is. They're the ones that got the ball rolling on this massive inflation. But Trump is going to take credit, pun intended, for that because he happens to be president at the particular time. And so what he's trying to do is cool off those costs by removing the tariff exemptions, by removing the tariffs, rather, on certain goods. This is a good idea. While I would love to tariff foreign countries, if we're in a situation where people literally cannot afford to buy oatmeal, they can't buy their fucking breakfast cereal, it's probably good to give them some relief. I have a feeling that this is going to be a good idea. Keep in mind, of course, it was the former administration that caused the problem, But now the current administration has to solve the problem. That's really, that's the devil on the wall, so to speak. Trump has to account for what the other administration already did. Otherwise, he's going to get the blame for it. He's going to get the blame for the inflation. He didn't cause it. For the most part, he has quashed inflation, but it's still there. It's sticky inflation. This is going to be around for a couple of years. That's at a bare minimum. Best case scenario, best case, for the next couple of years, you have some degree of sticky inflation. Trump doesn't add to it, but he can't subtract from it, necessarily speaking. You might get some deflationary cycles, but by and large, there's not a whole lot that he can do about it. He can hold the prices down and wait till wages, incline, but he can't really do anything more than this. So he has a thankless job yet again. It happens all the time. I see that King of Biltong is there. That means it's Bovrite time. We will get to our sponsors in a moment. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. With the Chinese 5 spices, it really goes different. Too salty, he will say. But he is wrong. It is not too salty. Spike, thoughts about riots in Mexico to push the current president out? I haven't actually seen anything about that. I'll have to look into it. Just give me a second. Thousands protest against government in Mexico City as clashes leave 120 injured. Goodness. Oh, so this is the youth protesting. Well, yeah, just destroy the government. Kill them all, It's probably for the best. Crime and corruption in Mexico City? No. Really? Yeah, if you force out the government there, then, literally nobody is going to complain about you doing that, by the way. So, yeah, we've got the tariff war, it seems. Let's get to our sponsors, though, first. We'll get to those, then we'll get to the rest of the news. First and foremost, we have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get mushroom pills. You can also get doggo dose. I call it doggo dose. Technically, it's doggy dose. But, yeah, your doggo will be much more shiny and invigorated as a result of that. And humans can take it too, believe it or not. You can take it with some tea from Cultivated Mind or from Jam and Bean, by the way. Yes, indeed. So yes, cultivated-mind.com. We have BiltongUSA.com. Anton can get you much more than the Bovrite and the Vegemite, things like that, though. We've got Stick, Sex, and Hammer mugs, tumblers, and shirts available, as well as a wide variety of meat. He pretty much cooks it every day. It was alive before it died, which makes it tasty. Wagyu, Angus, Cabanassi, bison, venison, pretty much anything that you can possibly figure out. It's all available, believe it or not. Then we have jamandbean.com. That is jamnbean.com. I just love the smell of it. I mean, I do that every single day. We've got Plank Coffee. We've got the Costa Rica blend. Lots and lots of teas available. And many others as well. By the way, they're the only company apparently capable of making a decaf coffee that doesn't suck. Well, that's definitely an improvement. Like, it actually tastes like coffee. I couldn't believe it. When I first tried it, I thought it was regular coffee. Then my mom's like, oh, that's decaf. And I'm like, oh, shit. Really? It was pretty funny. Randall Flagg, Styx's Tumbler. I have never used Tumblr, actually. Not without good reason. The hell would you want to use it? That site's just full of pedos anyway. Clayton Redden, please take a moment of silence for the beautiful souls who were lost in Jonestown on this day, November 18th. Very well. Communists like to kill people. Animate Acumen. Afternoon, my fellow clankers. Hard clank. That's what I'm talking about. Apache, do you think the right's inability to compromise and unify will end any chance at a long-term win? The left can do it with no problem, but we always fight. The problem for the left is that they're acting like the right at the moment. So I wouldn't worry too much in this current election cycle. I have a feeling that the left is going to fuck up more than the right will, actually. Joel Wagner, on sticks nods this stream. 0%, believe it or not. No, Mandris, Wagyu is definitely not a scam. You take the sliced up Wagyu, and what you do is you adulterate like a soup with it, especially like a noodle soup, anything Asian, preferably with lemongrass because it's delicious. And you just put it in there, and then you cook it. It doesn't really take a lot of effort. Honestly, it's pretty easy cooking, and it's really delicious too. Yeah, Randall. There is audio of the Jonestown deaths. You don't die instantly from cyanide. It takes anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. I have heard the death tape from Jonestown. And basically, it's people crying out in pain and slowly dying, including children. It is not a pleasant thing to listen to. Just saying. Ah, the mail just came. Well, I'll get it in a bit. What do mainstream Democrats stand for? Kamala Harris' memoir gives you little idea of what she believes. John Fetterman's is better. Imagine you're getting compared to a brain-damaged stroke victim. And even the legacy media, which is amenable to your cause, by the way, they understand you, they like you, they really wish that you were president of the United States at the moment. They decide that the brain-damaged stroke victim is actually more intelligent than you. When I first saw this title, I couldn't help but dock at this. There was no choice. You're saying that the dude that almost died, and his brain is quite literally damaged, is more intelligent than Kamala Harris. I mean, I agree with you. I have no problem with this in any way, shape, or form. But it's still really telling because all of your legacy media sites, and this comes from, this is the Wall Street Journal. All of your sites were trying to astroturf Kamala Harris, saying she's the greatest thing since buttered bread, she's wonderful, she's going to lead us into some sort of progressive revolution or something like that. Now all of a sudden you have a bit of a different opinion, it seems. It's very, very interesting. Fetterman's like, I'm gonna fuck shit up. Kamala Harris is like, she's disappeared. She's nowhere to be seen. Let's see. Spike. The main problem for the right is too many weak principled Republicans. Several red states backed off redrawing House seats, and they won't make Trump's EO's law. Kind of makes me want to run. Well, yeah, I mean, leave it to the Republicans to be retarded, but, you know. Yeah, I found this so funny because, you know, the legacy media was astroturfing Kamala for months and months and months, hoping beyond hope that she would win. And, of course, she didn't win. Meanwhile, John Fetterman is there. He has a goddamn massive stroke. Originally, he couldn't even goddamn talk. And somehow he's more intelligent than the rest of the party. This is, by the way, a running joke within this household. Within the Warwick household, we have an overdeveloped sense of humor, so to speak. A lot of it's toilet humor, but sometimes it's political humor. Fetterman is definitely, he's one of the gods of the household, so to speak, because it's just so goddamn funny. Because the Democratic Party is so insane that they don't realize the leader of your party, I mean, unless it's Chuck Schumer, which we'll talk about later, unless it's Chuck Schumer, it's effectively the Fetterman branch of the party. Well, you've completely lost the voters on this issue. You keep throwing these people under the bus. They're the only ones that are actually intelligent. A brain damage patient is more intelligent than the former vice president that was minted by your party. We'll be talking about pennies being minted as well later also. I mean, come on, dude. There's no way that you can justify this situation. When Fetterman is calling you out, you should probably listen to him. Just saying. Sean Richards, Kamala, that cackling alcoholic. I think she's on something a little bit more than alcohol. I have a feeling that there's some other drugs in her system. Jordan Vanislau, bring back the penny. Yeah, but when it takes 4 cents to mint 1 cent, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Haha, sense, pun included. Human trafficking soars in Blue City as gangs, highways feel perfect storm of child exploitation, according to experts. Yeah, apparently there are hundreds of children being trafficked, arguably thousands of them. These are just the ones that they know about, by the way, so it's probably an order of magnitude bigger. In Charlotte, North Carolina. I talked about this morning. If you have a city of, I don't know, 300,000-400,000 people. So it's a large city, but it's not New York City. It's not Los Angeles or Chicago or anything like that. It's an intermediate city. If you have hundreds or thousands of cases of child exploitation in a city like that, what would you expect to be the case in a much larger city like New York or like Los Angeles? God, there must be tens of thousands of kids right now being actively prostituted across the country because the former administration didn't do anything about it. The current administration, at the very least, there's an attempt being made. It's not perfect, but it's better than the alternative. The alternative is, we'll just ignore this. That's alright. Probably some of these people were fucking the kids themselves. That's why they didn't want to take care of the issue. Like, hey, this kid is real cheap. $15 an hour? Alright, I'll go with that. Fuck that 12-year-old pussy or something like that. These people are completely insane. They are total pedophiles. They are totally predatory. We've known this for some time, and, people have tried to solve the issue. Usually they get called conspiracy theorists as a result of their actions, actually. And it's like, vaginas are really, really fun. Normally, you're going for vaginas that are actually fully developed. Just saying. Says, I don't support mass economic regulation, but something needs to be done about banks owning all the damn single-family homes in America. I agree with this. I believe in deregulation. The banks should be fucked in the ass. That's all you got to do. Jeremy Briggs, Jodie Foster in Taxi Driver. By the way, good movie. A little bit creepy at times, but definitely a good movie. You know that some of these people are interested in that sort of thing. I mean, we all know it. It's been known for some time, like for 1,000 fucking years. Jeremy Briggs, Brooke Shields, and the Blue Lagoon. Never seen that one actually. I have a good history of watching movies, but I don't always understand. I like Jodie Foster in Silence of the Lambs, and apparently she's a lesbian, actually. Oh, more power to you, you know. Whatever gets you, Ulf. But there's at least several 100,000. This is a bare minimum, and this is an unfortunate estimate, by the way. I would say bare minimum 200 to 250,000 children are being trafficked within the United States. And that doesn't include people that are just molesting their own children or something like that. So that's another 250,000, maybe even 500,000. This is a real big problem, and nobody up until the current administration really decided to do anything about it. The Biden administration didn't care because we all know, if we look at videos of Joe Biden, what was he doing with the kids? Come on, dude. Don't try and fucking screw with me and tell me that that's a normal interaction with children. Yeah, let me sniff you. Ha ha ha. Yeah, let me grope your breasts and stuff like that. Yeah, that's, no, it's not normal. Multi-Drider. Any plans to mention how Trump said on Laura Ingraham that American workers are stupid and we need more H-1B visas along with 600,000 Chinese students? Well, yes, let me address that. He did not call Americans stupid. He said that more talent needed to be brought into the United States. It doesn't mean that there's not talent within the United States. And by the way, I will qualify this. I do disagree with Donald Trump with regards to work visas. I believe that they should be fairly sparing. I do not believe that we need to displace American workers for foreign workers. So I will give you that. That being said, when people are coming in from China to be students, they're not becoming citizens. What they're doing is they're studying. This does not give them an automatic entry into the country. If they have the money and so forth to study in the United States, I don't see that as a problem. It's only if they remain within the United States. Spoony Samurai, he literally called Americans and his own fan base not smart enough, dude. That is false. That is not what he said. He said that more talent needs to be brought into the United States. Fundamentally, he's correct. I mean, if you don't have enough people going into STEM in the United States, you're going to have to give them from elsewhere. Armand Clark, cope. There's no cope. There's no copium to be huffed here. The fact is that that's a mischaracterization of what Donald Trump actually said in the first place. What he said is that there aren't enough people in these fields within the United States, which is true. He's not wrong. If there aren't enough people to be scientists, to be mathematicians, and so forth, if there aren't enough people in STEM because the liberals have fucked the educational system, you're going to have to get them from elsewhere. I don't have a problem with someone coming from abroad, studying in the United States, paying a lot of money, by the way, in the process of doing so. I don't see the problem. I would love to have a situation where American citizens were the ones filling all of those jobs. I personally would prefer that, but that's not the situation we currently have. So we have to compensate. There's no other thing to be done about it. There's nothing else that we can do, ultimately, because there aren't enough people that have those degrees. Macopium. Skippy, the H-1B crowd is very talented in street poo. Yes, a lot of them are from India, actually. India appears to be pretty much the major donor. I don't have any problem with Indian people myself. I love Indian food. That's what I'm talking about. BW, your kind has effed up the educational system with DEI topics so you could replace Americans with foreigners, JJ and Talamasca. Yeah, see, I do not want foreigners to replace United States citizens. I believe that we can do everything ourselves. But in the meantime, if you have a gap, because you've had, the DEI sort of liberal administration under Joe Biden, right now, we simply do not have the number of people that are necessary to fill those job positions. In the meantime, temporarily, you're going to have to compensate. There's nothing else that you can do. Unless you want a shortage of doctors and scientists and things like that. We can generate them ourselves. I think that we should be encouraging that actively. But it's going to take a couple of years. Again, people must not get impatient. You have to give it time. When you're preparing for a battle, it takes time to arrange the troops, right? When you're preparing for a political battle, it takes years. We have to do that in the meantime in order to give Trump, compensation for what he's trying to do. And possibly a future administration. We have to. We don't have any other choice. What other choice do we have? You can forsake the administration. Well, then you're just giving the communists power. So that's gonna be a great idea. BW, not you, Sticks, the libtards in the chat. Lol. Oh, I didn't understand. Yeah, I would say, in the meantime, we're gonna have no choice but to import people from other countries. But the reason for this is because liberal administrations, namely the Biden administration, really, really fucked up. So we're going to have to compensate for that. In the future, of course, we can do far better. It's going to take a while, though. It's going to take a little time. Snakes bleed red. All jobs are mostly done by computers. What skill are you claiming Americans can't do that some Pajit can? Well, medicine and things like that. Believe it or not, most people choose to go to physical physicians. I do agree with you fundamentally. Because there's no reason for any of this to exist at all. So, I do agree with you. It's just, that's not the pragmatic reality. The way in which the country operates, more or less, is still highly regulated. So, people have to get magical pieces of paper in order to be able to practice in certain fields. It's a big problem. Tucker Carlson claims Patel's FBI doesn't want us to know the truth about right-wing Trump shooter Crooks. I happen to disagree with you, Tucker. I am Team Trump on this one, that's for sure. There is no actual reasonable evidence that Crooks was on the right wing of politics. There are some people on the right wing that don't like Trump. Mainly people that would be like in the Mike Pence camp or something, maybe the George W. camp. But it is always more likely if somebody is literally trying to shoot Donald Trump, it's more likely that they're on the left wing of politics. I have seen absolutely no evidence whatsoever with regards to this. Listen to the article. More than a year after Thomas Crooks opened fire on Donald Trump during a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, one of the most influential figures in conservative media says Trump's hand-picked Justice Department leaders are concealing important information about how the 20-year-old would-be assassin got within a rifle's distance of a former president and what motivated him to do so. In an episode of his Eponymous podcast released on Friday, Carlson took aim at current FBI Director Kash Patel, who does, by the way, deserve to be, aimed at. His predecessor, Christopher Wray, and Patel deputy and ex-Secret Service agent Dan Bongino, each of whom he accuses of concealing key facts about Crooks and the security failures that led to him coming within a quarter inch of making what would have been a fatal headshot on Trump. Of course, you'll remember, Donald Trump literally just turned around, and that's the only reason that he's alive today. It was insane, actually. He also broadly impugned the Department of Justice, headed by Attorney General Pam Bondi, which has oversight over the FBI. You're not going to catch me defending Pam Bondi at this point with the Epstein files, by the way. So, effectively, Tucker Carlson appears to be saying that Crooks is actually a right-winger. I'm not seeing any evidence of this. Just to be clear, I've seen absolutely no evidence of that. I see plenty of evidence that he's a left-winger, like, the whole Communist Manifesto and stuff like that. It happens all the time. John Hoyle taught State Tech High School for 21 years. Now is the time for specialized job training programs, but this is not happening. It should. Yeah, a lot of the blue-collar working slots, actually, they're going to pay more than actually getting a liberal arts degree. You go to college for 4 years. Okay, you make 50 grand. Wonderful. You go into a blue-collar job, you're going to be making 75 grand in some cases. I think that would be preferable. Just saying. J.A. Cash is a real smooth liar. Remember the Rogan episode? Yeah, I remember that one. I think that everyone does. Animate Acumen. Tucker will say whatever makes him money. Yeah, I've soured on Tucker Carlson, and I tried to warn people years ago. I was like, okay, Tucker is not, in my opinion, completely disingenuous, but he's also not ingenious, so to speak. I tried to warn people. They paid me no heed. I think that somebody who's got their comeuppance at the moment. I don't hate the dude. I just think that he's mainly out there for his money. There's nothing wrong with it. Everyone's got to make a living. But, come on, dude. Snakes bleed red. All the comments the claim Crooks posted go along with all Trump's talking points. So why would he try and kill him then? Lol, it makes 0 sense. Exactly. Yeah, you are completely correct. I mean, he sounds like Donald Trump in his online posts. What the fuck would he take a shot at him? Makes absolutely no sense, supposedly. Other than the whole leftoid thing, that might be a little bit of a problem. Bolivia top court orders release of former interim president Janine Áñez. Yes, indeed, in Bolivia of all places. Now, this is a far left country. So, Bolivia has been run by socialism for a very, very long time. Supreme Court annuls the right-wing leader's conviction for illegally, this is assumpted, assuming presidency after 2019 ouster of Evo Morales. Yes, indeed. Supreme Court Justice Romer Sacedo told reporters on Wednesday that the sentence against Inez, who has been in prison for more than 4 years, had been annulled based on violations of due process during her trial. This is called a workaround. When this happens, when they use the due process exemption and stuff like that, it's because they want the person to be free, but on paper, technically speaking, they don't have a reason to free them. So instead they say, well, the court process wasn't proper and so we have to let him go. That's exactly what's happening here, dude. Bolivia is probably going to undergo a right-wing revolution in the next coming weeks, which is great. If it happens in Chile as well, God, half of South America, including possibly Brazil, that would be more than half of it, would actually be under the control of sane political parties. This would be very, very good for our country as well. Hey, we've got countries that we can actually deal with, that we can talk to. That sounds fun. Tom, fucker is a satanic maggot just like them, and Stixy here. I am not a Satanist, actually. I haven't been for a very, very long time, honestly. I don't believe in Satanism. Satanism is nothing more than atheism with a floor show. It's completely empty. It's pretty much useless. The only use of atheism is to clear out your mind from, the idea of sin and guilt and stuff like that, and then you go on to other things. I do not believe in Satanism. It is completely empty. Imagine Catholicism inverted. That's basically what you're getting. Girl of the Valley, Styx is the bringer of light. Yes, I am Lucifer. Absolutely. It's another reason why I don't practice Satanism. Because there's no reason to. BW, so you'll basically vote for Biden again. Ugh. Yeah. Why don't you just vote for the wheelchair-bound cripple in your town? You've got a better understanding of politics, probably. Snakes bleed red. You're inducting Stolas here. Yes, I am personal friends with this particular entity, but I don't believe in Satanism. It's nothing more than atheism anyway. In fact, it's rather boring when you think about it. Yes, Turtle's Toy Box. Atheism with a floor show. Yeah, if you're some 2D or orbiting edgelord. Well, that's what Satanism is. That's the whole point. It's just basically atheism with an edginess. That's all that it is. It can help you remove fear, and it can help you remove guilt. It can't really do anything beyond that, though. It literally cannot. JJ, the trap extraordinaire, Dramia hurt your feelings. No, actually, no. That never happened. Yeah, you should look into my backstory. Holy shit. So Bolivia, apparently, they've released the right-wing candidate who actually went against the former president, and they had jailed her for several years as a result of her trying to take office, even though the other president was not able to take office. So there was nothing illegal about this, but it was still found illegal. This is what happens in socialist systems. You effectively are punished simply for having the wrong ideology. So the Supreme Court has decided that is a pile of bullshit, and they're going to reverse that particular decision. Mike the Wop, been buying bread cheese from Aldi. It's a cheese from Finland. Delicious, by the way. Now they pan sear and serve with cloudberry jam. Cloudberry, I've never heard of that before. I don't have cloudberry jam, so I've been dipping it in maple syrup. Very addictive. Alright, I need to try cloudberries. Let me look that up. Cloudberries. An amber-colored, juicy berries from the Rubus commemoris plant that grow in cool Arctic and boreal regions. They taste like a mix of raspberry and red currant. That sounds delicious. Okay, I'm gonna need to get some of those. King of Biltong. Oh, anytime that you show up, of course. Premium Biltong from Biltong, USA. High protein, keto friendly, no additives. US sourced beef, authentic South African flavor. Get some now at BiltongUSA.com. Use code STICKS for 10% off. And then eat some. Trust me, you won't regret it. Cloudberry, yeah, I've never... Scandinavian and Alaskan cuisine. Okay, I definitely need to get some of those. Let's see if I can get, like, dried cloudberries or something. Oh, yeah, you can get... Oh, they're elderberries. I guess. Yeah, I've had elderflower, like the tonic. I've actually got dried elderflower seeds, and you can grind them up in the mortar and pestle and stuff. Frenkles, yeah. Release the new herb book. Now. Well, I can't right now. I've still got to write it. Don't worry. That will absolutely be a thing. Right now, though, I'm working on Morbid Stories 2. I'm probably going to do the next few sections later. And, yeah, I'm basically just going to listen to music and write tonight. Benjamin the Dream Wizard. If you liked my books of historical dream literature, then you will love my Real Radio channel on Rumble. Playing the song Uriel live on stream. Good demon, by the way. It has waited over 150 years for you to hear it. I'll have to take a look. Link me on Twitter. Yeah, we've got all sorts of crazy shit going on today. I mean, the news, it was so insane. I've still got, I think, 6 shots in the locker right now. I can't get to all of the news. It's impossible. We've been going live for almost an hour now, and it's impossible for me to get to the rest of it. I might be able to get to one more. Oh, that one never actually saved at all. Well, that sucks now, doesn't it? Oh yeah, Larry Summers, the former head of Harvard, was mentioned in emails to Jeffrey Epstein. And apparently his wife said something about the book Lolita. I have never read it, just to be clear. I mean, I don't believe in suppressing free expression or anything like that, but, it's quite obvious what the fucking concept of the book is. And so, apparently, she was talking to Jeffrey Epstein on emails, and she was bringing up Lolita. I know what Lolita is about. It's pretty obvious what the connection is here. Just saying. I have a feeling that Jeffrey Epstein, maybe, just maybe, he was involved with diddling children. Yeah, because he was interested in Lolita and so forth. I have a feeling that these are probably connected together. I mean, come on, dude. Under normal circumstances, if a person is absorbing that kind of material, at the very least, it causes suspicion. Now, it doesn't mean that they're a pedophile. They just could be a bibliophile or something like that. That's perfectly fine. But Jeffrey Epstein doesn't seem to fit that bill. In his particular case, he just wanted to fuck kids. And that was his particular obsession. And a lot of the people around him apparently knew about this, and according to this particular report, they didn't do anything about it whatsoever. They did not give a shit. Go Georgia. Epstein is watching you from Bahamas. Yeah, no, he's in hell at the moment. Spirit matter. Read Lolita. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the kind of literature that I would like anyway. I like stuff that's like about food with sword and sorcery stuff. I like comfy literature, like The Elfin Ship is my favorite book of all time. And it has absolutely nothing to do with that sort of thing. Kiss Juggernaut. How's the dick riding working out, Sticks? My dick works just fine. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you're thinking of my cock. This must make you happy. Ali's Lolita is a fun video. Lolita is not as edgy as people think, but the guy is a creep, says JJ the Crap. Yeah, I mean, I've never read it, so I don't know. It probably is creepy, though. I'm just going to take your word for it on that one. I mean, when you look at the basic synopsis, yeah. Cal chuckles. Read the Conan books. No, I've never read those either. I've seen the original Conan the Barbarian. Good movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course. But no, I never read the books. There's also the gore novels. Those are full of, sexual stuff and things like that. There's like 30 of them, I think. I've never actually read one completely through, even though I'm technically named after the mainstay of the novel. I just couldn't get interested in it. Not my kind of literature. BW, Amazon has a 3-preserve pack of cloud, goose, and lingonberry. Lingonberry? Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I have to get some of that at some point. Yeah, I don't think that I've ever had lingonberry. I'll have to try it. Sounds delicious, delightful. Apache, do you think AI causes Great Depression 2, Electric Boogaloo, or does nothing ever happen? Also, seconding the Conan recommendation. Conan. Yeah, I would say I do not believe that AI is going to collapse the economy. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I don't think that that's going to happen. Mike the Wop. New coffee development. Use drip coffee makers. French press and pour over years. Now I just put grounds and water in a pot on the stove. Bring to a boil. The grounds settle after a minute. Simple. Yeah, reusing the coffee or tea, by the way. That's a good idea. F. Winters loading. Would you see there is more infighting among Dems or in MAGA right now? The Democrats. At this point, I don't even know what they're doing because the sort of working class Dems, the leftist Dems, the neoliberal Dems, and then just the plain partisan Dems, they're all fighting each other constantly. With the Republicans, you've only really got a two-square fight. You've got the old, non-MAGA core, like the Mitch McConnells and stuff like that. Nobody really gives a shit about them. Mike Pence or something. And then you have everybody else. That party is more solidified, in my opinion. The Democrats, meanwhile, are fracturing. They're falling apart. And the funny thing is, the legacy media will tell us about how there's a civil war in the Republican Party. They're falling apart. Meanwhile, it's like, okay, there are some standouts from, what you're trying to do. Wow, how terrible. With the Democratic Party, it's more like, you people can't even be in the same room together at this point. It's fucking monumental. We have not seen this, by the way, in some time. Normally, we get this from the Republicans. Normally, the Republicans are the ones that can't stand in the same room. You've got the moralists, you've got the populists, you've got the vaguely libertarian, and then you've got, of course, the warmongering neocons. And so they don't get along together. Now, though, they're basically just solidified, and it's actually the Democrats that are doing exactly the same thing. And I was, laughing about that actually yesterday. I thought it was funny. F. Winters loading. When MTG said the Trump deal with Argentina was a bailout of the country, it shows right there that she has no idea what she's talking about. Exactly. MTG is a goddamn wreck. And I warn people about her as well. Just saying, I think I got that one right. MTG is telling you that the Trump administration bailed out the Argentine economy. That's not what happened. Currency was traded. Effectively, we give billions of dollars of our currency in exchange for exactly the same amount from Argentina. Now, the idea is that the economy in Argentina, while it is stabilizing, is not fully stabilized. So we give them a more powerful currency, they invest that, the hope is that they do the right thing, and then we make a return, because their currency becomes worth more. Guess what? It worked. Yes, we made billions of dollars off of this particular deal. The US government actually made money. We haven't seen that in quite some time now, have we? It did work, though. And so, when people are trying to, yell about Trump, he bailed out the Argentinians. No, he didn't. No, he traded currency straight across. I think it was 20 or 30 billion, thereabouts. Trade it straight across, grab the currency, their currency grows in value, and therefore you make money as well. And it's tax-free because, of course, the US government doesn't have to pay taxes. It was quite funny, actually. When I saw that particular article, I was laughing. Let's see. That's the coffee comment, my friend. The Wanderer. Fuck you, BoomerCon Israeli puppets. Yeah, you're not gonna find me supporting Israel. I don't support anyone in the region. I only support the United States. Just saying. Anyways, I'm gonna go offline. We are approaching 1 hour. I do still have several... I'm gonna have to hold them over till tomorrow. Yeah, I've got too much news to cover. That's the whole problem. I don't have enough time in order to cover it all. Maybe if I went for 3 or 4 hours or something like that. So, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream and get everything docketed for tomorrow, and I'll figure out what we can do. That's about all. Peace out.